We have three types of data types. So the first one is value data types that we have already seen, like integer, short, and strings. What is value is that we're going to discuss shortly. Really, value is data types is something that have a value, and we're going to assign it directly. So reference data types. What's a reference data types? If you have seen C++, if we have pointers and we have references, this is exactly the same. The reference is just we're going to reference that data types. We are not going to say the value is something that we already have the value directly. We're going to assign, and the reference that we're going to have assign the reference of that data types. And you've seen the pointer. If you guys coming from the C++, you already know what pointer is. The pointer is a variable that points to another variable. This is the simple definition of the pointer variable, pointer data types. So here we're gonna see the value data types. What is the value data types? Most built-in types, specifically all numeric types that we have already seen, say the character types or chart types, the bool types, as well as the custom struct and enum types. So we're going to see the struct, which is a form of class. Say struct is taken from C, because what happens that C sharp is written in C++, and C++ is taken from C. That's what we have struct. So struct is like just like a class. Before, because that was C did not have any class, but because the C++ came in one step ahead of C, they invented something called class. So class and structs are exactly the same. Enum something that takes a value, and that's we're going to talk about the future videos. And this is the value. All of this is the value data types which we're going to assign directly. Reference data types, all class, array, delegates, and interface types. This includes string types as well. So we're going to talk about the string type. What is a string? Strings is an array of characters, as we have already seen the char here, the char. So we're going to see the strings, as well as we're going to see the pointer types, as well as we're going to see all of this. Say we're going to see the delegate in future videos. We're going to see array, and we're going to see interface. And the last one of this our data types is going to be the pointer data types. So it's comprises of pointers. Alright, so we're going to see the value data types. What is the value data types? Value data type, or you can simply say value type. Keep in mind the value type or value data type is the same. So value type, we just want to make it shorter. Sometimes you're going to see that, most of the time you're going to see that in C sharp as just a value type. Our value types are variables that can be assigned value directly. The value data types are integer based and floating based types. So C sharp language supports both signed and unsigned literals. The content of a value type variable, our constant, is simply value. For example, the contents of the built-in value type int is 32 bits of data. That's just, we say this just value, whatever the value is. Say for example, if it's int, is 32 bits of data. So if it's int, it's 32 bits of data, which makes it 4 byte. Or for example, if it's long, it's 8 bytes. Our float is 4 bytes. Our say for example, just a character, which is 2 byte, makes it 8 bits. They are derived from the class system.valueType. So they are coming from system.valueType. We're going to give you guys some examples. So for example, here int, which is 32 bit, makes it 4 byte, and character is 2 byte, makes it 8 bit, exactly like float. Float is also 4 byte, which makes it 32 bits, because in 1 byte there are 8 bits in 1 byte. There are 2 types of value types in C# language. The first one is the predefined data types, which includes values like integer, boolean. Boolean is true and false, and float. That's just a few examples. And there are another one is a user defines data type, which consists of structures and enumerations. Keep in mind structure is just like you can say struct. Our enumerations, you can just say enum. You can make it short for struct and enum. Alright, so now we're gonna see the reference types. If you guys coming, as I said before, if you guys coming from the C++, reference type is just like exactly like we put an ampersand sign, just say take the address of. So we're gonna refer to address of another memory location. The reference types do not contain the actual data stored in a variable, but they contain a reference to the variables. As I said before, if you're coming from C++, the ampersand sign in C++, it means that we're gonna reference the memory location of another variable. So we don't care about that variable, we just reference to the memory location of that variable. Just like our post box office, let's say we all have address, because so when you want to send to later to your friend or to whoever you want to send them later, you just reference the say the address of that person. So we just put the address of that person, and your letter goes in, just like exactly the same as in C++. Our C#, we just put the reference of that another data type. We just put the location, because just like our home addresses in a computer chip, all the memories have a location. So if you want to put an int somewhere, it has an address. So through the reference, we can reference to that address. These particular data types do not include the real data stored in a variable, but they have a certain reference to that variable. In case the data is edited by one of the variable, the next variable will immediately return this modification in value. So as soon as one data type is changed, this change is going to be changed automatically, because we don't care about whatever the data is. We just reference to that data address, whatever the address is inside the memory location. So in other words, they refer to memory location. Using multiple variables, the reference types can refer to a memory location. So what's the difference then between the reference types and value types? The variables of reference types store reference to their data or objects, while variables of value types directly contain their data. So if you have say data which has say int of data type int, which we name it age, so that's going to be our identifier age. We're going to put something like age, and we assign 30. So now these data types, integer data types, have a 30 directly assigned to it. But if you guys have another data types which reference to this age, it means that's the reference types of this reference data types. So there are two types again in reference data type. The first one is going to be the predefined types, such as dynamic, object, and string. And the second one's user defined, such as classes, interface, delegates, and record. So in the next video, we're going to talk about predefined, because here is user defined, because it is defined by user. So the user can define classes, the user can define interface, the user can define say delegates, or can put a record. But here, because predefined ones already inbuilt inside the C++, you can say this one predefined or inbuilt types is the same thing. So such as dynamic, object, and string. That's what that's going to be our topic for the next video. So in the next video, we're going to talk about dynamic, we're going to talk about the object, and we're going to talk about strings. And all of these dynamic, object, and strings going to be the reference data types in C#. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe my channel Cryowood. If you guys have any question or comment, leave in the comment box. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.